everyone, today we are going to be making Panera bread, macaroni, and cheese. For those of you like myself who absolutely love Panera bread, macaroni, and cheese, I don't know if they're open right now or not, but this is a simple and quick and easy way to create this at home. All you're gonna need is one good box of pasta, whatever your favorite pasta is. Today I'm gonna be using medium shells, which is what I think Panera bread uses, is a shell type of pasta, but if you have macaroni pasta at home, you can definitely use that as well. You're gonna need about half a stick of butter. A good solid white cheddar cheese is what they use, but you can use any sort of shredded cheese you have at home. I'm gonna shred this up for the recipe, but you can use any sort of cheese you have at the house for quesadillas, or if you have mozzarella on hand and some cheddar cheese, you can throw anything in there. But Panera bread is made with the white cheddar cheese. And then milk. And then this is an optional ingredient, which is heavy whipping cream. It's usually heavy cream, but I don't have heavy cream on hand, so I'm gonna be using heavy whipping cream. And then their secret top ingredient in their macaroni and cheese is dry mustard. So if you have dry mustard at home, please use that instead of the Dijon mustard, which is what I'm using. I don't have dry mustard on hand, so I'm gonna be using a spoon of Dijon mustard in the recipe. So hope you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions in regards to the recipe or anything I skip over or anything like that, go ahead and DM me like you have been, and I'll try to answer any questions you have. Thanks, hope you enjoy it. Hi everyone, so the pasta is boiling behind me. Once that's done boiling, it takes about 10 minutes. Once that is done boiling, what you are going to do is make the sauce and then dump the strained pasta right into the sauce. While the pasta is boiling, I went ahead and shredded my white cheddar. Again, Panera bread does use white cheddar, but you can use any sort of cheddar cheese you have in your fridge. But if you want it to taste like Panera, use white cheddar. And if you have dry mustard powder, use that, please. I don't have any, so I'm using the Dijon mustard. And then their recipe calls for 2 cups of cream and 1 cup of milk. But what I'm gonna do is flip-flop it just to make it somewhat healthier. I'm gonna use 2 cups of the milk and 1 cup of the cream, and I'm using whole milk. You should always try to drink or use whole milk when you can. If you've done any reading on low-fat milks and non-fat milks, you know, unless you have some sort of cardiac issue or weight issue, it is always best to drink whole milk, as the nutrients do stay in the pasteurizing process of milks. Whole milk tends to be a lot healthier and nutritious overall. So that's just a little quick tip. And then the one ingredient I did forget is flour. So you're gonna need about a spoon of flour when we make the sauce. So get that out, and we're gonna make the sauce now. As soon as the pasta is done, we're gonna strain that out and then make the sauce. Okay, in a saucepan, you're gonna melt 1/4 of a cup of butter. Now on the side of a butter stick, it usually tells you the measurements, 1/2 cup, 1/4 of a cup. You just kind of cut it right where it tells you 1/4 of a cup is. We're gonna melt this up, and we are going to add no more than a spoon of flour to this butter, okay? And what this is gonna do is make a roux. So the roux is going to add a little bit of a binding. It's gonna act like a binding agent for the macaroni and the cheese. So we're gonna add the flour and melt this butter up. And I think all we're gonna need is about a spoon. And also, the one thing that I did forget is when you use your pasta, make sure that you're using a pound of pasta. This recipe that I'm giving you calls for 1 pound of pasta. Now, not all boxes are 1 pound. Some boxes have 2 pounds of pasta in it. Some boxes have 1 pound. The box I showed you had 2 pounds. I had only put half of it in here. So we're gonna melt this up on super low to medium heat, okay? And what we're gonna do is just keep adding flour until you see that the butter thickens up. And it's about 1 tablespoon actually is all you pretty much need. So once this is melted, we are going to go ahead and add our milk and our cream. So we're gonna add 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of cream. Once you make that roux, you're gonna add the 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of cream into the pot, and just kind of stir it up, and you'll be able to tell when the butter and the milk and cream are all kind of mixed in together. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I have this on low to medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and add the cheese to it. Make sure the heat is low to medium on this, okay? So to this milky, buttery sauce, I went ahead and added the 2 cups of cheddar cheese, and I'm just kind of letting it all kind of just mix together and melt in together and let all the flavors melt in. From what I can see so far, because I added 2 cups of the milk instead of 2 cups of the cream, it's gonna be a little bit thinner. So I'm gonna have to add some more flour to this sauce to thicken it up, I feel like, but I'm waiting until the cheese completely melts. And if it is a little too thin, then just add in another, couple spoons of flour to thicken it up, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and do now because it is looking like it's gonna be a little bit too thin. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in there, 1 spoon at a time to get it to the right consistency. Okay, so in this milky sauce, I had added my 2 cups of cheddar cheese, and I'm still on low heat. Just want to let it meld in. I added some salt and pepper. You don't want to add too much salt at all because cheese is very salty. And literally, I just added a pinch of sea salt. So you can even omit the salt until the very end, and when you're done making your mac and cheese, and just add it as you see fit. And this, just measure it according to the saltiness that you like typically in your dishes. I don't like to put a lot of salt ahead of time in my dishes because sometimes they become too salty and then it's hard to fix that. So it's better to just add salt at the very end if you don't know how much to gauge or how much to put into something, because here our cheese is very salty. So, you almost don't even need any salt. Now, I think the 3 cups of flour, the 3 spoons of flour that I put in the sauce was enough. As you can see, it's thickened up on the low heat. And the longer you simmer it, the thicker it's gonna get. Now, if it's still not as thick to your liking, you can add more cheese or you can add more flour, either one. In this case, I think I'm just gonna leave it. It's kind of a medium, it's like a medium thickness. It's not too thick. Sometimes I do make my mac and cheese a little thicker, but I think I'm gonna leave it at this consistency for now and just dump my pasta right into it. Okay, folks, so I've added in my pasta into the sauce. It looks like I think I did good with my 1 pound of pasta to this measurement. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of sauce compared to the pasta, but I cooked my pasta almost to the point where it's completely cooked when I was boiling it, but not quite. So the longer we let this pasta sit in here and kind of just absorb up the sauce, the tastier it's gonna just be tastier, and the actual mac and cheese consistency is gonna be very thick and very much like that at Panera. So we're just gonna let it kind of sit, and you can go ahead and feel free to put a little bit on a bowl and just try it like in a bowl and see if you need to add more salt, more pepper. In addition to this mac and cheese, you can add some heat like Tabasco or hot sauce for those of you who like spicy mac and cheese. You can even fiery hot Cheetos on top. That's like a kind of a new thing, like a new fad, I guess. Fiery hot Cheeto mac and cheese gives you a little crunch as you're eating the mac and cheese. But today I'm just gonna leave it plain and simple, just like this. And there you have it, guys. It's Panera Bread mac and cheese. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, again, feel free to DM me.